Okay, let's see what we have for tools and techniques. What can we use to convert these inputs to the expected outputs? Schedule network analysis. This is a generic term describing a tool, but you have learned what is critical path method. So critical path method is one of the scheduling network methods, right? So this is a generic name and this is a specific name. This is repeated because the network analysis is not just limited to critical path method or resource optimization. By the way, this is also a network analysis. So this is given because any other network analysis that is available, you can also use as tools and techniques, right? So remember, guys, all these that we are learning here, they are not absolute. The project management is not just limited to this. These are all just the best practices. So you don't have to, stick to it that only the critical path method has to be my tool. No, the options are not limited to this. So that is the reason why PMBOK guide has specifically given that any schedule network analysis tool can be used as a tool for this process. So again, moving on to the critical path method, you have learned what this critical path method is. Resource optimization. What is this? This is nothing but adjusting the start date and finish date of the resource availabilities. So there are two important techniques again within this resource optimization. The first technique could be the leveling of resources. What does it mean? Nothing but the demand of the resources versus supply of resources, right? What is the demand that we have? How many engineers do we need? How many construction workers do we need? And how many do we have? This comparison is called resource leveling and one of the optimization techniques. The other technique could be smoothing of resources, playing within the available time. So it won't change the critical path. So yeah, these are the two resource optimization techniques. Just keep them in the back of your mind. Data analysis tools. What special tools can we use here? Again, whenever I'm mentioning this, please don't limit it to these options only. These are just an examples that are given by the PMBOK guide. You are free to choose any data analysis methods, right? So that is why I have not written it down here. These are not whatever examples I'm giving, they are not limited to just these examples. So what can be taken as example here? The what if analysis. I think we have learned what if analysis. So nothing but it evaluates the plan, it questions every activity. What if this doesn't happen, right? We define an activity and then we question it, saying that what if the resource goes the other way? I think you get my this thing. And then what else could be used as analysis tool? Simulation. I think we discussed this before. Monte Carlo analysis. So multiple work packages are calculated, assumptions are added, probabilities are added, statistical tables are used. So that can be used as the data analysis here. Leads and lags, we have discussed. Lead is nothing but doing an activity earlier. Lag is doing the same activity at a delay. Schedule compression. As the name says, this is nothing but to shorten the schedule, right? We have decided a schedule that it will be done in 20 weeks and we have compressed it, saying that no, we want it to be done in 18 weeks. So how can this be done? This can be done if you add more resources, right? So instead of having 10 resources, just add an 11th resource and get the work done faster. Or do 2 or 3 parallel activities. So the parallel activities thing is actually a bit scary or risky because we have chances of failure a lot because so many activities are being done in parallel. We will not get feedback from one activity to the other, right? So these are the compression techniques. And then PMIS, also an important thing, and agile release planning. What happens here? Again, the agile process, iterations and their associated outputs can be shown here as tools and techniques. This is favorite tool of the customer, guys. Always remember, because it gives us continuous feedback, right? Every now and then we have a feedback about what tasks are done, what tasks are pending, how many tasks we still have to do to finish our project, in how much time we can do it. We have a very strong continuous data because after 7 or 8 sprints, right, we will understand the pace of the complete team, how fast the team is working or how slow the team is working. All these feedback are live and this is quite transparent, unlike the waterfall methods where many things can be hidden. So this is the truth. So in agile method, there is nothing to hide. So more and more customers are actually preferring for these agile methods. The organizations are also going towards it to improve the processes. So I think with that said, we finish this process. We move on to the next one, controlling the schedule. Let's see what happens here. Controlling the schedule, it focuses on monitoring the status of the project. So a schedule is there, we monitor to control it. What do we have for the outputs? Work performance information. I think we have discussed about what work performance information is. Scheduling the forecasts. There were something else before the project, and we need to estimate the forecasts now. So that's about it. Nothing much to learn here. Change requests we have to update at the end of this process. Project management plan we have to update. All the project documents we have to update. Again, if you ask specifically what project management plan components we have to update, the schedule management plan has to be updated. The schedule baseline has to be the result of this controlling schedule. Cost can be baseline, and performance measurement can be baseline. All these four components in this project management plan. And if you ask about what project documents are updated, again, the same set of documents like assumptions log can be updated. The estimates basis can be updated. Lessons learned can be updated. The project schedule itself can be updated. Risk register can be updated. Scheduling data can be updated. Now, don't have to write all this down, guys. The recording is available, and moreover, you don't have to go to the specifics here. Let's see the inputs. Okay, again, whatever I mentioned here, all the components, non-updated versions are taken as inputs, the current state and the updated state. And what project documents can be used as inputs? Again, the same list goes. Lessons learned register. I think the important one that we should focus on is the project calendars and the project schedule. Just remember these two things, that they are important for controlling the schedule. And work performance data. Of course, this also act as a very important update or input for the process, and always follow the organizational processes. So let's quickly move to the tools. Data analysis. So here again, I keep explaining this, but don't limit yourself with just these examples. So for controlling the schedule, what can we do? We can do earned value analysis. So this earned value, this is nothing but after end of every small task, what is the benefit that we get? So as the name suggests, earned value analysis is a very important tool for controlling the schedule. And iterations burn down chart. Iterations burn down chart is nothing but we have seen the agile method, the rolling wave method, that image that we have seen in the first slide. So after every sprint, some backlogs are also left, right? So in the Kanban board, if you remember, that is also the agile method. After the end of the sprint, some backlogs are left. So in this data analysis method of iteration burn down, after each iteration, whatever backlogs are remaining, sometimes they are added to the next sprint, or sometimes they are just left as backlogs. I think I have also stated this there. So all those left out backlogs, if they are not included in any one of the sprints to come, they will be left even at the end of the project, at the closing stage of the project, right? So at this closing stage, we cannot just close all those huge list of backlogs that are left, right? So it is important that somebody is tracking, or there is some mechanism tracking those backlog activities. So in controlling schedule, it is important that we look at all these backlogs. So planned versus actual timeline is again drawn for these backlogs, and it will be tracked. What else can there be? Trend analysis can be done, variance analysis can be done, what if analysis can be done. We learned about what if analysis, right? So again, don't limit yourself just with these tools. It is important that you know that these tools exist, and you can also use other tools if it helps in controlling the schedule. And then again, critical path method is also one important tool. We have learned about it. I think we need not have an explanation again. PMIS, all the softwares that you need, whether they are in place or not, whether we have access to this or not, what important or special softwares we are using, all this is project management information system. So I'm not going much in depth. And we have resource optimization. This is also an important tool. I think the name, as this itself suggests, this is nothing but how well we are optimizing the use of resources. I think we have spoken about this in just the previous process. Leads and lags. We understood what leads and lags is. Leads is nothing but an activity done quicker, and lags is an activity done a bit slower. And then schedule compression, we just learned in the last process.